And it did. I tried to switch over. I had a Bible verse ready. And I wanted to switch over and read it. But that might not happen. It was from Luke chapter 21, basically. I'm going to paraphrase. But there'll be signs in the sun, moon, and earth, and in the stars. And people will be, what's that word? Perplexed. The nations will be in fear and perplexed because of what's to come to the earth. People faint, something. I'm probably mixing up some verses, like I said. I thought I was going to be able to pull it up and read it. I read the word, but I don't got it memorized. But anyway, so of course we know about the Great Conjunction. You know about the Great Conjunction. That's going down today, the alignment of Jupiter and Saturn. All right, so this lines up a lot of stuff. And I don't know how succinctly I'm going to be able to put this. But like I started off, I said we're on there really real. So the way I look at things, and kind of a system of thinking that I've been using, I've been looking at things, but I finally got a way of kind of codifying it or putting a name to it. So the real is just what we see day to day, what you see with your natural eyes. You know, you get up, you go to work, you got this, you got, America is this country, blah, 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 the president, just normal, the world that exists without belief, or without having to believe in anything. I guess that's one way of putting it. Then you have what I call the really real, which is what is happening on the spiritual level. For those who know, and of course this goes, there's, most people believe in the spiritual realm in some capacity. Like Tony Evans says, if what you see is only what you see, you're not seeing all there is to see. Basically, there's more to meet the eye. And if you didn't believe that now, something tells me more people believe in that now than they did before. And not on some, I go to church once a Sunday and tithe and whatever, and then go home. I mean, spirituality. So that's the really real. Then the third level, and there's an important distinction, the trill, what is true and real, as the saying, I know of it from the 90s. I know Goody Mob used to say it. My man Cujo used to say it, and that's for trill. What's true and real. Because just because something is real, just because you see something, doesn't make it true. So, truth is almost a combination of the spiritual and the practical. And the last layer, true, I don't know what that was, but I'm walking this way. Heard something. Hey, it's real out here. Or trail out here, as I should say. What's true to you? And you hear people say, my truth, I'm telling my truth, I'm walking in my truth. That is to say, it might not be true to you, it might not apply to you, or may not be how you see things, but in my world, the way I operate, it's true. So trill also takes into account the objective or the personal application of a thing. So that's real, really real, and trill. And so on these walks that I go on, often when I'm talking to God, when I'm communing with God, And that's why this show is called God Walks, by the way. This is my meditation. This is my spiritual practice. My way of connecting with God. So real, really real, trill. And so all these walks, me and God kind of discuss and look at the things, so we look at the world. We look at, just, turn on the news if you want to see the real. That's what's really, really happening. And then we talk about the really real. And again, that's a spiritual level. And what you'll often hear me say, I say it about TV shows a lot, and movies. Ooh, they on that really real. As in, simple. The Matrix movie is absolutely on that really real. And, you say, well, this is based on Eastern philosophy, and this and that is the roots, it's influence, no big deal. All right. So it don't matter. It applies a spiritual, or it depicts a spiritual truth, spiritual realities in a futuristic way. And it did it so profoundly well, so profoundly executed on many profound levels. You say, oh, that movie's not that deep. Okay, I ain't gonna argue with you. I ain't gonna argue. Okay, cool. Anyway, even though I will say there is a greater movie. Popular movie, let's say. While many say Matrix is like it wasn't a movie, it was a documentary. Or, a documentary. I say Blade Runner is truly the account. If Matrix is a documentary, then Blade Runner is a live video, a YouTube video from that world that documentary is explaining. And we're gonna get on that at another time. So anyway. So there we go. That's 3 layers I look at things. Let's keep moving. All right, so the Bible verse I referred to. There'll be signs in the sky, sun, moon, and earth. The nations will be perplexed in fear for the waves. It says something about the waves and the flood that's coming. People are going to be faint. They'll never say nothing like that. Okay. Said Luke chapter 20 something. I just Googled signs in the sky Bible. So anyway, great conjunction. Tonight we're going to look up, and Jupiter and Saturn are being closer. Today it's going to be the 0 point, less than a 0 degree apart from each other. There's your sign in the sky. Hasn't happened since 1600 something. And the last time it was this visible with the naked eye and this good and clean was like 1200 something. Blah, blah. So a rare celestial event. And what year? What year could it be? It's the one and only 2020, baby. The one and only 2020. Which has already seen beaver moons and full moons and orange moons and all the other fun things that go along with 2020. But this one, on December 21st, as the year wraps up, we get this big super rare celestial event. And boy, oh boy, are the spiritual streets on fire. So much so, that it even crossed into the everyday, maybe not every day, but it appeared in the contemporary vernacular as Negro Solstice, which Black Twitter so lovingly has called it. And Black Twitter is there's a That's a whole discussion in its own self. The entity, the power, the beautiful, ridiculous, ratchet, whatever you want to call it, place that Black Twitter is. If you're on there, that was some good content on there, some good laughs, some good stuff. And if Black Twitter knows it, I wonder what percentage of Twitter would be considered Black Twitter. Because I want to know the size compared to the influence. Basically, the influence is because, let's keep it real, Black people set the cultural barometer, the cultural, as Black Twitter goes, pop culture, American pop culture goes, which affects the world. So, again, influence. So anyway, so much so this celestial event broke through, and then, people, Black people are getting superpowers. Just look that up and have a ball. Because you best believe we're going to be clowning on there. Please believe it. But if you go look, spiritualists are talking about it, the astrologers are talking about it in a very real way. If you don't know, the celestial bodies are not just planets, but they're energies. And Saturn has there's a lot about that, but basically Saturn is the restrictive chronos time, the rings of Saturn, like a clock, a dial, time, refine or confines, boundaries. And and this is, I'm no expert in this stuff. It's just in my travels what I've picked up. Let's just say that. And Jupiter, the biggest planet, is, love and creativity and this big magnanimous force, in Jupiter. In mythology, Jupiter was the king god, the source, kind of not the source, but the big dog, the love, the creativity. And you're combining these two forces, the two largest planets in our solar system, in our known solar system. And so everybody's flipping out, on whatever level you want to take it. Cross that with it's Christmas time. There's a Christmas star in the Jesus story. Apparently, and my pastor talked about it, and my wife has brought it up. It's like the wise men had to travel 2 years. Had to follow that star for 2 years to get to Jesus. Talking about a GPS, boy. Oh, man. So let's just say before we get all spooked out and pointing fingers, it's across all levels. So we have an event that is crossed from, and astronomers and everybody, everybody's talking about it. So it's a great event. Go out and watch it with your family. So we got that level. We got Black people getting superpowers level. We got, it's a portal of the energies of the planets are aligned. We got signs in the sky in the Bible. So everybody cooking on this baby boy, please believe. Let me look one more time. Before I hit that main street, I don't want to be recording. So everybody and their mama talking about December 21st. December 21st, like December of 2012, it applies on all three of those levels. The real, really real, trill. It's a physical, observable thing. Oh, based on this tenet, one of my tenets, everything happens for a reason. And for that reason, it happens. As in, we know what something is, or what we see is a result of the things that we don't see. Kind of way of putting that. So, example, like the 2020. 2020 has been in the lexicon, has been in the minds of people for however long. One is just a repeating number. Those always have at least some significance. 2020 vision. However, when that system came into being, what does it mean? You can meet some 20 points high from 20 feet away or something like that. Has a very practical, unmystical, whatever explanation. The real. And I just told you, we all know about the spiritual implications of this year, or awakening, or whatever you want to call it. So, really real. And then the true and real. For some people, again, this year has been, and again, no matter how you look at it, this year has been historic on so many levels. On levels that that we're not even seeing the full ramifications of. Haven't even started dealing with the ramifications. We're still in it. The after is what's really going to be the show. As some are saying, 2020 was the preview. All it was the switch going over this way. And I think, we all can jive with that, so y'all get it. Y'all see the multiple levels. But this 2021, for some, and here it is, it's going to be, 2020 was the thing that activated a lot of people's dormant abilities, their dormant spirituality, their dormant awareness. 2020 woke a lot of people up. 2020 gave a lot of people vision. It also blinded a lot of people. For some, 2020 was a light going off. Just darkness. I don't know what's going on. I have no spiritual discernment. I guess the facts, for some, it was like, oh, there we go. And right at the end, this huge celestial event happens. Now, for me, the trail, my own truth, is that it truly does align. Everything I've been feeling, thinking, writing down for the last, I got journals going back to 2013, right at the beginning of 2013. I finally said I'm going to start writing this stuff down. And I want to start going through some of those with everybody on here. But it's truly, I don't know, and I got so much information about practical stuff like my family. It ain't all woo-woo stuff. It's like, all right, this is what you need to do with your son you're having trouble with. All right, your marriage is going good. Better than it's ever have. Okay. But you forgot about this. And it's not in a condescending way or a condemning way. The Holy Spirit doesn't condemn. If they put something on your heart, it might convict you. But it doesn't. It don't do that. And so I know what I need to do. It's so clear. And it's the culmination of all the parts and pieces. I'll end with this. We have some friends, some friends in our marriage group. We've been friends over 8 years. We walked through some tough times. We all met in a marriage support group in church. Been friends ever since. There's a couple who we've always jived with because the husband is kind of like my wife. This very practical, they get into stuff all the way and then they move on to something else. They're very grounded. And then me and his wife, the wife, we're both kind of like the spiritual woo-woo kind. We look at things and these gray areas, and we're looking at, what is dream interpretations and all these different things. And the other night we were all on the phone. Me and the wife and his wife was on the phone. The wife just wanted to call him up. And, they were just doing their thing. And then I just started talking about, we're talking about the events, we're talking about the vaccine, we're talking about this. And I decided to bring up the 21st. And, I did it kind of jokingly, about the black people getting their powers on the 21st and this and this. And it kind of, this conversation, the cipher started. And a lot of what was in me started coming out. Some of the revelations, some of the downloads, some of the confirmations I've been getting. And, I'm used to being being on YouTube or whatever and seeing people maybe commenting here and there. But I haven't had a conversation with somebody that jives with me. Like somebody I know, somebody I can really talk to. And it was so cool because they were picking it up, they were adding their piece, we were building, and it was like, wow, there it is. So, needless to say, I'm excited about what's happening. This year has activated a whole lot of people. And that's the practical activation. That is the superpower, the change of consciousness and that's all you need. My God, if 2020 hasn't shown you anything, a change in consciousness can change the whole world. Think about it. We're not gonna spill everything out, but anyway, let me get off here so I can keep cooking. Y'all take it easy.